So the problem with them is that they're soft-sided, they stick to each other, and if there's any residual moisture left in there, it's going to stick in it, and it's going to provide a near perfect environment for mold and bacteria growth. Now, you can use chemicals to deep clean it. I've used bleach, little drops of bleach in there, but it always leaves that nasty chemical taste afterwards. Or you can hang it up. I also use, there's a zigzag hanger that I used to use for my camelbacks, but that still doesn't guarantee that it's going to dry, and you're going to be seeing it for the next 3 or 4 days, hoping it dries out. So what's the solution? The solution is the hydropod. The hydropod is an effective and efficient way of drying out your hydration system. And with a clean hydration system, that'll prolong the life of your current hydration system. And it gives you a lot of confidence knowing that you have some safe water to drink for the next time that you use it.
Good morning, Albuquerque. It's 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, and that means it's time for Million Cups. Please pull out your cell phones and point them at the QR code on the screen or at those things lying around on the tables around you. And that will let the Kauffman Foundation know that our chapter of 1 Million Cups is thriving, as it has been these many years. There's something in it for you too. If you check in on 3 separate occasions, you'll get a free pen. If you check in on 6 separate occasions, you'll get the coveted 1 Million Cups notebook. So that's a real prize. Don't steal Miriam. She's completely dependent.
What about 7 times?
7 times, that's like breaking a mirror in reverse. You're lucky. Okay, so what are we doing here? This is our mission. It's tough being an entrepreneur. You can't hold down a job, right? You can't work for the man, and you've decided to strike out on your own. Your family told you not to do it. Your former employer shook his head, all that stuff. But we're trying to make it easier for you to be an entrepreneur. So we're lowering the barrier of access to education, to resources, and to community for all new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. And how do we accomplish that? We have a national and local mission. We must have new batteries in here. This is great. We work toward this mission. It's the little things. The key to happiness is low expectations. So we work toward this mission by creating a consistent program for every 1 Million Cups presenter nationwide. So anywhere you go in the United States, if you go to the Million Cups, you'll see that the presentation format is familiar. The questions are similar, and that's because of the framework that the Kauffman Foundation sets up for us. Also, every community is unique. If you go to Million Cups somewhere else, you'll find a very different collection of people and a very different networking opportunity. And we certainly have some fantastic opportunities in New Mexico, and we do our best to take advantage of those. We are the most successful chapter in New Mexico. We achieved that by having a small denominator. There are other chapters scattered throughout the Southwest. I've been to a couple of these. They're great. If you're on the road and it's 9 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, see if there's a Million Cups near you. If you're an early riser, you can go on the East Coast and check in New York at 7 a.m., have some coffee and get here. So there's plenty of Million Cups for you if you want more than once a week. Okay, here's how it works. These are our key pillars. These are presentations, not pitches. In a pitch, there's something you want. If it's a company that's seeking outside funding, you want money. If you're just trying to sell things to people, you want their money for your product. Now, when you do that, you're putting your best foot forward. You're making the best case for yourselves. There's a lot of stuff that you worry about when you go back to the office that you're not sharing with those people. And it's okay to share that with us. So these are not pitches to get people to give you money or buy your stuff. They're presentations where you're talking about your challenges and you're exposing your vulnerabilities and asking the community for help. And that's what we do. So that's as part of promoting authentic connections rather than speed dating. It's not a contest to see how many business cards you can hand out in 30 minutes. It's an opportunity for you to talk to people who know stuff that you don't know, even stuff that you should know that you don't know that you don't know. All right. And sometimes, you've got a lot of life experience, everybody in here, and there's something you could share with somebody who could benefit from that. So we encourage you to talk to folks randomly before and after Million Cups and try to establish those connections. We're run for the community by the community. So all of the organizers are volunteers, which is not to say we're masochistic altruists. We all get something out of it. And mostly we get out of the good feeling that we're helping to lift up entrepreneurship and We're radically and intentionally inclusive. So all kinds of people are welcome here, all kinds of entrepreneurs, all kinds of folks, all kinds of companies that have, hung out a shingle and they're brick and mortar and they sell stuff. Companies that are whiteboard companies that might have got a little bit of funding for their idea, all the way up to the big successful tentpole companies that drop in every once in a while to show us how it's done. Everybody's welcome here. We have something to learn from everybody. And many of us have things to teach to lots of those folks. So please participate. And that's a reminder of our mission. When you do that, do so politely. Remember, this is an educational opportunity. If you know something that other people don't know, share that gently and answer their questions. If you're learning something from somebody, be nice. And if somebody says something that you strongly disagree with, you might take the advantage of the opportunity to keep your opinion to yourself and be polite. Okay, it's also easy to apply to present. You can talk to any of the organizers. We'll steer you through the process. So you should have a for-profit business, and that's defined as a business that sells goods or services to people for more than it costs to produce them. We'd prefer if you had clients besides your mom. So we'll follow up with you. We'll coach you on how to present to Million Cups, and we'll make sure you put in that good community ask at the end so you get something out of it. This is our organizing team. I'm Paul Sutter with Equiseek. Lisa Atkins here is COO of Fat Pipe. Eric Renz Whitmore is keeping the gears lubricated up there in Santa Fe right at the moment. Danielle's here today. And if you're going to die, and all of you are, you should talk to her about making that easier on the other people around you, right?
Right, she's your person.
I mean, it's a tough thing to say at 9 in the morning, but come on, let's face it, right? And Keiko and Oscar with Legacy Family Documentaries and editing our YouTube videos, making everybody look great. And we also have room for a new organizer. So wouldn't you want to hang with these fun people, at least virtually?
We've had a couple people express interest, but you do need to apply on the platform
Right.
to get the process moving. So.
Yeah, so it's competitive, guys. We're not sure everybody can do this, right? But there might be room for you to get out, and it'll be like that Batman movie where they break the pool cue. No, we won't do that. All right, it's a pleasure to thank our sponsors, Fat Pipe, who's been allowing us to meet here for free for 10 years. And boy, can you imagine what that would have cost if we had to pay for it. There wouldn't be Million Cups without Fat Pipe. Deanna with Dry Heat Photography is making us look great. More than organized. Miriam will organize your stuff, your thoughts, and provides creamer. Foundation for Sustainable Living provides coffee. The energy drinks are out there, so if you're looking for dopamine, they got it. Noventum Custom Software Development, software that doesn't suck. Say hi to Brian, he brings the donuts. And Minuteman Press for all your ink on paper needs. They print the cards with the QR codes that are on the tables around. So thanks again to our sponsors for keeping us caffeinated and ready to roll. All right, and now I'm going to hand it off to Danielle.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I had the pleasure of coaching our presenter today. He's got a super cool company. I think we're all going to be pretty interested in. We have a lot of outdoor stuff going on in our state. So with no further ado, Stephen Alberete. I was told I had to say it like an Italian.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And again, as Danielle said, my name is Stephen Alberete, and I'm the owner of Trail 9 Outdoors, a startup company that I had an idea and I started running with it. Okay, so I consider a little bit about myself. I consider myself an outdoors person. I enjoy hiking, backpacking, fishing, and I'm not very good at cycling, but hey, we do what we do, right? So a little story that I want to share with you guys is the fact that a couple of years ago, I was backpacking up in the Carson National Forest. When I came back, it was a 3-day adventure. When I came back, I was tired, I was hungry, it was dirty. What's the last thing I wanted to do? Start working on my gear. So I threw everything aside and I cleaned up, ate, and went to sleep. So next morning, I had no choice but to start addressing my gear. Put away my sleeping bag, put away my boots, put away this, that, and the other. But the thing that I had to deal with, and to this day, I still don't like dealing with, is working with my hydration systems. So when I go backpacking, I take a Camelback, a 3 liter Camelback, and I take a 5 liter reservoir with me. This Camelback fits nicely in my backpack, and I fill it up when I leave, and I use this to refill my hydration systems using a filtration system. So getting back to the story is I was like, okay, this is kind of, there's gotta be a better way to dry these things out because I always had that nasty taste afterwards. So I went inside, got to the bathroom, got a hair dryer, and I came back and I put the nozzle of the hair dryer onto the opening of the bladder, turned it on, and lo and behold, I was on to an idea. And that's the genesis of this idea that I have. So let's talk about hydration systems. So a hydration system is a very convenient way to transport potable water whenever you're doing any outdoor activity. It consists of the bladder, the drink tube, and the mouthpiece. It comes in various sizes, 1, 2, 3, and 5 liter sizes. And they're used by a plethora of people, outdoor people, cyclists, hiking people, and even the military uses these as well. And as you can see, these are the 3 that I have here are the 3 most popular hydration systems. Okay, on the upper right-hand corner is the Camelback style. The bottom right is a platypus style. And then to the left of that is a Gregory style hydration system. And if you were to go out and buy one, let's say a 2 liter hydration system, it's probably going to cost you about $40. So what is the issue that I have with it? So the problem is drying these things out. So the problem with them is that they're soft-sided, they stick to each other, and if there's any residual moisture left in there, it's going to stick in it, and it's going to provide a near perfect environment for mold and bacteria growth. Now, you can use chemicals to deep clean it. I've used bleach, little drops of bleach in there, but it always leaves that nasty chemical taste afterwards. Or you can hang it up. I also use, there's a zigzag hanger that I used to use for my Camelbacks. But that still doesn't guarantee that it's going to dry, and you're going to be seeing it for the next 3 or 4 days, hoping it dries out. So what's the solution? The solution is the hydropod. The hydropod is an effective and efficient way of drying out your hydration system. And with a clean hydration system, that'll prolong the life of your current hydration system. And it gives you a lot of confidence knowing that you have some safe water to drink for the next time that you use it. So what's the technical approach that I'm going? So what I'm proposing and what I've been working on is blowing ambient air into the bladder system. And this is accomplished by attaching the Camelback and the bladder system onto my hydropod. And it has an adapter also for smaller openings. So it addresses 2 of the 3 popular bladders. So it inflates the sides of the bladder. It gets the bladder off. That allows for air to circulate. And so this serves 2 purposes. Again, it gets the wet sides off of each other. It circulates air throughout the system. Excuse me. And it accelerates the drying process. It's not an overnight dry. It's not a quick dry. The way I use it is that I attach it after I use it, leave it on overnight. Next day, it's ready to go. So some of the stuff, some of the things that I've been working on as a Trail 9 Outdoors is that back in 2020 in April, I was asked to participate in the New Mexico State Aggie Shark Tank, where I was actually given some seed money to move forward on this, and I really appreciate that. I also been working with the New Mexico Small Business Administration. One of their first things that they did for me was they provided an airflow study, which increased the efficiency of the hydropod by about 30%. And they also I had an idea to use USB-C cables to power this up and we figured out that that's not a feasible way to go. And this year, they're also providing me with a market survey study, and hopefully by midsummer, that'll be complete. So I was granted a US patent back in May of, I think 2014 is incorrect. I think that's more like 2018. And I've been selling this product at outdoor shows here in Albuquerque and New Mexico and in Salt Lake City. So as well as my website. And I just finished, I just finalized my final design, and we went ahead and went with the plastic injection moldings, which is very expensive. So we're ready to go into full production right now. And some of the potential big customers that I foresee is the Department of Defense, the military. And why do you ask that? Because every soldier, every Marine, every airman, every sailor is issued a hydration system. And when I was deployed in Afghanistan, I witnessed firsthand how people used and abused the hydration systems. There was a lot of times when we were just tired or too busy to address and maintain our peripheral equipment to include the hydration system. And once it was compromised, we were just issued another one. And that cycle went on throughout the deployment. And I've seen people go through as many as 4 to 5 hydration systems. And if you think about it, $50 at a time. So it could save some money. I truly believe that the Department of Defense is a big potential customer. It may not be for the single use hydration system. I'm working right now on a multiple port hydration system that people can put 2 or 3 of them together. Hopefully I'll have a final design on that by the end of the year. So some of the people that I've been working with, Radican Engineering, he's very good at taking my primitive drawings and my ideas and putting them onto a CAD program, and he helps me out with my manufacturing as well. As I mentioned before, the New Mexico district of the Small Business Administration has helped me a lot, and they provide small businesses a means of doing research that is not available to them or they can't afford. So again, hats off to those guys. Loza are the patent attorneys that I've been working with, and it's not up here, but I've also been working with BAMCO. They're the guys that are doing my plastic injection molding. And then, and then again, the Arrowhead Center down in New Mexico State has been helping me an awful lot on this adventure of mine. So the hydration system is a huge industry, and it's getting bigger. And I foresee the hydropod it being the only and most effective way of drawing out a hydration system. And I foresee it as a wickedly profitable product. So again, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Stephen Almeta, and this is Trail 9 Outdoors.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions or would like to offer any feedback, please come on up, line up over here and bring the mic up close to your face. I'll remind everybody for Paul, and introduce yourself, please, and what business you're with or what brought you here today.
I'm at cross. Hi, Steve Cuomo with Beyond Energy. I was just curious, how are you getting most of your business? Is it referrals, or what's that process like?
Most of my business has been through these outdoor shows. I kid around with the fact that my brother, who is one of the investors, I kid with him saying that we're rich in compliments, because a lot of people say, oh man, that's a great idea. And nothing really every once in a while somebody buys one. I do hand out a lot of literature at these shows. I do have a website that they go to and purchase as well. And I had mentioned that Arrowhead the New Mexico Small Business Administration is going to be doing a market survey. So hopefully I'm going to get that word out even more, and my revenue will pick up after that.
Oh, sure. So I don't know if you guys watch Seth Good, and you should watch him on YouTube. He's a really marketing genius, but it always talks about the people on the fringe. So people, especially in that market, that are looking for a better way to do things. And so if you get those people on the fringe, and then the word of mouth, right? And maybe doing YouTube videos like educational stuff, so people could Google it, and so you can tell your story. Okay, Seth just a thought. Seth Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Brian Steiner, Ventum Custom Software. Thanks for telling your story. My question is, have you been through any kind of UL certification for your device?
I have not. I didn't think that it runs off of a 12. You're talking about United Laboratories, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
do the
Yeah,
electronic.
the circuit, yeah. So I use, excuse me, I use a 12-volt microblower in there. And right now I have been told that, yeah, you should get the UL certification, and with the other, some people tell me, no, it's not really necessary for low voltage, low power.
In my experience, it's just been helpful for bigger distribution use, like REI, different places. You know, I know a company downstairs that spent a lot of energy going through that process for their APS and PNM low power device stuff. So that's why I asked.
Okay, no, I appreciate it, yes. So,
We have a question from Sue Prolazny online, so I'm gonna bring her up. Sue, you want to
Hi,
ask your,
Yeah, thanks. Good morning. In terms of sales and the sales channel, have you approached like the retail chains like REI? And would you be able to produce enough for them to carry you in their stores?
okay, so yes, I have approached REI, I've approached Sportsman's Warehouse. And unfortunately, it has to be, I have to have a contact at the headquarters. Nothing locally. I haven't been able to get my product on the shelf here locally. Again, it has to be approved by the headquarters. And I'm sorry, what was the second question she asked?
No, just that was it. If you were able to look at chains like that to carry your product. I'm a business development consultant, and I'm thinking you might even approach Costco. And they will do it regionally as long as you can produce enough units for them to carry it.
Yes, okay, so yes, that's a great idea. I appreciate that. And to answer the question, yes, I remember, I do have, right now I have an inventory of over 300. I get my, again, my plastic injection moldings, they can spit those out as fast as I need them. The big concern right now that I have is buying my micro blower and my switch and my barrel connector. So I buy those from China, so off of Alibaba. Reason why is because if I were to go through a US distributor to buy those parts, I couldn't sell this. I could not sell this. Yeah.
Due to the cost?
Exactly. It's just for example, the micro blower of the company that I buy off of Alibaba can sell me 300 for less than $2. If I were to go to like a DigiKey, which is a distributor, which gets their equipment or their parts from China or Taiwan, they sell them to me for like $8, $9. So I just couldn't afford to do it if I didn't do that.
Okay.
Good morning, I'm JP. I'm with a couple of little small businesses, Amazing Life, works for wellness, Enchanted Lands Music for sound baths and music things. And I'm also getting my certification in inventing over at the IoT lab across the way. So I've been a biker and a mountain biker and a hiker forever. And I had a Camelback in Austin. And I ran into that same issue of putting the coat hanger inside to dry it out. And you know, and everyone's tried the bleach and the different chemicals. And I really, yeah, I want to see that. I really love your solution you got going here. It's amazing. You got your intake
Yes.
right here, and that's a filter. Or that's just a little.
That's
fan.
just a air intake.
Okay. So what I think is really amazing about this is that you saw a need and you've created a cool small invention to help people with the situation of like, okay, let's not create more landfill with throwing Camelbacks away or the bladders. Let's find a solution to fix it. How many years were you in development to actually get to this place where you're at with that prototype?
I'm gonna say about 4 years. But I started off, I told you the story about the hair dryer. So I actually took a hair dryer apart and I 3D printed something that was about the size of a shoebox. And unfortunately, I left the heating element in there and it melted the 3D print and it melted the bladders. So I went through a couple of bladders. And I eventually just got rid of the heating element because it really wasn't worth it. It was compromising the integrity of the bladder, the wells on the plastics and the glues on there, so I just got rid of them.
Do you have any other variations, or is this the main one that you're selling right here?
So the only variation that I have is the colors, so that's a tan, I have a gray, and I have a OD green as well.
Well, if you're interested in doing some, to creating a variety of a different, I don't want to give away all your giveaway ideas now, but I can miniaturize that for you and help you save cost on production.
Okay.
So think about, if someone's not already doing that for you.
So I just bought $40,000 worth of molds for my plastic injection molding, so I need to work on that prior to change, make any changes that are gonna come around, so, yeah, I appreciate it, though, thank you.
This is really cool.
Thank you.
A comment about YouTube led me to think about, my own YouTube experiences, and I tend to watch other people do outdoor activities instead of doing them myself. But they're very frequently selling products associated, with the outdoor activities, influencers, right? Have you contacted any influencers to see if they would spread the word about your product?
So this, either this month or last month, Albuquerque Magazine has the top influencers of Albuquerque, and we did think about that, about contacting one of them, just to see if we can get things rolling here. Right now, I'm kind of pushing a rock uphill. I want to hit that peaks, and if I can get an influencer to help me out on that, I'd be greatly appreciated. So yes, I am looking into that.
Very cool. The other question I had, not as much of a hiker as a camper, preferably remote camping, so you take all your water with you. Would this work with like jerry cans, or, how flexible is the, I guess, entrance for the air that you can use?
Sure. So right now, if I were to put it on a jerry can, the volume of the jerry can would be just too great for it. It's not going to get the volume, the airflow through it, and it would have to have a bigger fan in it. And if you can see here, I have a little attachment that I thought, well, we could hang it on a wall, screw it on a wall, put it on there. But that doesn't work because gravity is a little stronger than the airflow, the blower. So there's things like that, the little things that I've been thinking through. But to answer your question, yes, if I had a bigger or a different style of attachment or a stronger blower, yes, that would work out. We'd figure something out. So
RVs or something like that would also be, bad water taste there.
Right. As a matter of fact, I was in Farmington giving a pitch, and the same question was asked, hey, does that work on my RV or my houseboat? I was like, wow, what kind of jobs do you have? Because I want to do that.
Hi, Deanna with Dry Heat Photography, obviously. But I've had a number of my own struggles with Camelbacks, so I know what you mean. My question is that device able to circulate air into the hose as well, or just the bladder?
So yes, it can circulate it into the hose, and that's accomplished by leaving the hose attached and then pinching the mouthpiece open. Yeah. So my next design, I was talking about the Pro, correct? So if you hold this for a second. So let's see if I can get this. So the drink tubes on the newer models are detachable. So on the Pro that I'm thinking about is going to have a receptacle for the drink tube, so that you can take it out, plug it in there, and walk away. Okay. That's one of the things that I'm working on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Barbara with Purple Mulch. I've never used a Camelback. I walk like crazy, but I don't use that. I guess I'm sitting and I'm being with you, and I'm wondering, you're talking about the services, the armed forces, how you can use it there. people that do hiking and biking and do the sports. What's your like biggest focus right now? Because when someone said, go to REI or go to somewhere else, you were saying, yeah, but I've got to climb up the ladder and find someone at that higher level. So if you had to pick one thing right now that you're really focusing on, how can I get there? Where would that be? And the second part of that is what would it do for you?
So I guess what I'm trying to do right now is get this known, this product known. I guess it's called branding, right? So branding is probably the biggest issue, and I think what that would do for me is just, it's gonna, like I said, push that rock over the downhill side of that and get things really moving for me as far as sales.
And I hear you say branding.
Yes.
So branding it for the Air Force or branding it for the Army, or branding it for REI, is it all the same?
I think it is, yes. So, again, I don't see this, the military giving this to an individual.
Mhm.
I see this being used as like a group or a company or a battalion. And that's why I'm working on the multi-port hydroponic. Yes.
Well, if you ever want to sit down and just brainstorm, I'll be an ear for you to help you drive that.
Okay, appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Hi, so I think you have sales and marketing challenges ahead of you. And despite that, I'm going to focus on some cool but fairly unimportant technical details. You talked about injection molding and how you went through, and that tends to be a high setup, low unit cost process. Have you ever considered or have you done any 3D printing for rapid prototyping, higher unit, lower setup costs? Do you have any of those with you for the bigger units?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
So yes, I have been working with Roadrunner 3D printing here in Albuquerque. I looked into the possibility of them 3D printing a mold for me. And I did have a lot of my prototypes 3D printed through them. It just wasn't financially feasible to do that for me. So I ran maybe 2 dozen of these things through the 3D printing, but it was just costing me too much. So I got to the MVP, my final design, and I ran with it. So yeah, thanks.
One question. Okay. So actually, we have similar challenges with the energy drink, but we just set up a TikTok shop. So and you have to jump through some hoops. So TikTok shop's really cool because you can actually reach out to influencers and they actually get a commission. So you can send them a sample, they can do a video about it. And you never leave the app because you're on TikTok and you can do stuff like that. So that's just about
For now.
TikTok shops.
Hi, I'm Mike Bernstein with the ABQ plan, which is a nonprofit focusing on homelessness. Okay, so looking at your device, it seems pretty simple, impressively simple. There are some actually quite a few potential upgrades and improvements that I can think of right off the bat. I understand you don't want to invest in prototyping or manufacturing any of those, but you should start looking at patenting those improvements ASAP. Otherwise, somebody else is going to see that, say, hey, I can improve on that, and steal a march on you.
Yeah.
Somebody with an already that already has an established distribution deal. Second, I assume that you're on LinkedIn.
Yes, I have Trail 9 Outdoors has a LinkedIn.
Okay, so have you used the LinkedIn feature to try to get introductions into the right person at the top of the retailer?
I have not. That's something I would do.
Okay. Okay, so if you, rather than blab about it, in front of everybody, if you want, I can talk about some of the improvements that came to my mind that you could probably patent before somebody else does.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't use camelbacks because they're kind of a hassle.
Right.
So, reducing the hassle is probably a great thing. The question I have is like in marketing, have you thought about like just kind of working with local companies and kind of getting that sense of how does this thing go into a store and how does it work from that sales perspective? Like, for example, I can imagine going to sports systems or some of the bike shops around and saying, hey, I want to put some of these things on the rack with your camelbacks and a little thing saying, make your camelback last longer or taste better.
Yeah.
And doing that, even maybe not as a profitable thing, but as a way to experiment, like how does my customer come in? How do they interact with the product? Eventually, probably that'll be the way that you'd sell it is when you buy a camelback or you buy a replacement bladder. You get a,
Or even part of the cleaning kit, because there's a picture in there where show brushes and all that. So yeah, so to answer your question, I have approached systems, what is it, sports systems? I have approached them. I went in there cold one time and then through the last outdoor shop the show that I went to, I was given the owner's name. Contact this guy, tell him that so-and-so sent you. And as a matter of fact, that guy bought 2 of them. So he said, oh, this is gonna be great if we can get it on sports system. So yes, I have been approaching locally, but unfortunately I go in there cold and I kind of like don't know what I'm gonna do. I stumble around the presentation. So I need to work on that. Yes. Thank you.
We have a couple questions online. I'm gonna go to Jess.
Hello, this is so cool. I could have used it a million times over. And
I
one
do have
idea,
a for sale.
one idea is that you could, for example, bring it to Ski Santa Fe, bring it to ski areas where people go and hike and bike and have them sell them in their ski shops or the base shops, because that is a kind of a built-in population that tends to use this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I have a couple questions. How is it charged? Is it battery operated? Is it a plugger? And how long does the charge last?
So it runs off of a 12-volt wall adapter. Several people have told me, oh, you need to make it battery powered. And 2 reasons why I didn't do that. One is the fact that I see people when they use this, they're done for the day, they're done hiking and they're back at their house. And that's when they're gonna use it. And 2, if I were to put batteries in it, it was gonna jack the price up maybe $10 more. And again, I sell this right now for online for $30 with free shipping. So $25 to $30 is where I make a reasonable profit margin, and anything else above that, I don't think people are gonna buy it because it's the branding thing. People don't know about it. So they're not gonna spend $35 for something they don't know, but they will try something for $25.
Okay, well, it would be good to have that listed on the website in the product description, because there's nothing on the website about that.
Okay.
The other question I had was, are there filters? You said you're using ambient air. I presume it's some kind of fan. Is there a filter to prevent dust or other things from getting into your camelback?
Okay, so no, there is no filter on it. It's just a straight, I don't know if you can see that there's just a hole for a way to get for the ambient air to get in. No, there is no filter. But that's a good idea. Even if a little HEPA filter that I can stick in the inside would definitely be a plus.
Thank you, Jess. Aaron Fraser, you want to ask your question?
And as I was typing it, you guys were talking about, because doing a product add-on to one of the bladder companies, right? So you already talked about that.
Yes.
What is it? So the vision is people leave it at home, or they take it with.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
The vision is people leave it at home. Sorry, I lost my voice this week.
Oh, that's okay. So yes, When I use it, I am done for the day, and I foresee that the same thing. People are gonna be using it once they get home. They're gonna get home, they're gonna shake all the residual moisture in there as much as they can. They're gonna hook it up. And they're gonna do whatever, cook dinner, do whatever they're gonna do, and they're gonna use it that way. I was also asked, because it's a 12-volt system, can I plug it into my car? I said, sure, you can plug it into your car, but again, you're traveling, you can use it. There's no reason why you couldn't. But again, maybe I'm just being short-sighted here, the fact that I just see people using this at their house.
My thing is I would use it, because again, I don't use camelbacks either, because this is a problem, right? But I would bring it with me, but is it made out of plastic and like it would degrade in the sun or crack or?
Yes, yes, it is made out of plastic, but it does not degrade in the sun. I forgot what type of plastic I use for the plastic injection moldings used for this, but it's a high-grade plastic. It's safe and doesn't degrade.
All right, thank you. That's it.
You're welcome.
Your turn. Sorry.
All right, so a couple of follow-up questions. Okay, so there seem to be roughly three main benefits to using your product. Correct me if I'm wrong or I missed anything. First of all, it saves time. Just dry stuff faster. So, and second, as a result of that, the water doesn't taste funky.
That's correct.
Okay, and third, there's a health benefit because you're not growing mold or bacteria or whatever. That's correct. Okay, which of those is the most convincing to the people who actually buy it?
So there was one more that you missed, and it's it extends the life of your existing hydration system. So that means you're not gonna buy a new hydration system as frequent, right?
Okay.
So I think the number one selling point that the four that we had mentioned was the latter. Was people don't want to spend $40. They don't want to spend, $45 for a new system. They'll put up, because we do that now, up until now, we were putting up with nasty taste or, okay, we'll hang it from the hangers and, that stuff. So I think that it's just the benefit of not having to purchase another one.
Okay, what's the actual ROI? I mean, if you, how much does your product cost, first of all?
Okay, my product cost $25 if you were to buy it in person, and it's $30 online with free shipping.
Okay, and the thing that you're saving costs about $40 to replace, right?
That's correct.
How long does it extend the life of that product?
I don't have that answer because I haven't, this is a 4-year project that I've been doing. And in order to do that, I would have to really start from the get-go from day one and figure out, okay, well, if I don't use this.
Do you have a guess?
I would, this bladder here is about 7 years old.
Use the mic, please. Thank you.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. This bladder that I have here is about 7 to 8 years old. I take care of this or I don't use it. And I have probably about 4 or 5 more of these bladders. And again, it's just, I keep them, I use them, and then if it tastes good, then I'll use it again. So I really don't have an answer of how long that's gonna prolong the life of the bladder.
Okay, but that's the thing that you think is the people who actually do buy from you, you think that's the thing that convinces them.
Okay, so the feedback that I've been getting from the shows is that's like, oh yeah, that's really cool because it tastes funky, and maybe I'm wrong in the fact that it takes too long. I'm sorry that it extends the life of the bladder, and maybe it's the fact that people don't want that nasty taste in the bladder.
Okay, so how many of these have you sold so far?
So I've sold about 50 of these in prototypes plus 3D printing and the final design.
Okay, you have contact information for all those people? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, so in order to find out, ask them all what the.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Okay?
Yes.
Because that is the most important thing that you need to find out. Why are they buying?
Sure.
Okay, why are they keeping it? Why would they recommend it to somebody else? Okay, that is going to inform your marketing.
I appreciate that. That's good information. Thank you.
Hello, Miriam Ortiz-Pino. I'm with More Than Organized. Two things have become obvious while people are asking me questions. One is there's so many mindset stuff that business owners need to go through to figure out how to price and sell their products. So several times you mentioned things that were a little bit scarcity, like, oh, I can only sell it for $30. Oh, I can only buy my things off of Alibaba. There's scale and things that'll bring costs down as you get into it. So I just want you to be aware that how as we talk to ourselves about money, it can affect your results.
Sure.
Second thing is the marketing and the sales process. You need to have that dialed in. And like the gentleman, I'm sorry, I can't remember, Michael just said, you have to ask the customers. It is not about the money. It is about the taste.
Sure.
Every single one of us was like, yeah, that taste is so gross. I need something to fix that. And people are willing to pay for that. People pay more than $30 for a hairdryer thing these days. They pay $250. And if it'll also save the environment and save them from having to buy a bunch of things. And that thing you said about connecting them to do several at the same time is great. The car, being able to charge it in your car off your generator, if you're camping for a week, you want to do that every night.
Sure.
So it's not just about doing it at home. So look at ways to make that easier as well. I feel like we could sell 500 of these this weekend. So it's just about actually getting it out there and selling it. When you said you were at shows and you'd only sold 50, there's different reasons why you do a show, but you got to get comfortable asking for the sale.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Anybody else?
All right. Well, thanks again. I appreciate it. Thank
Wait,
you.
two more
Oh,
questions.
hold on. 2 more questions.
Yes, our most important state questions, red or green?
Okay, know those. Why not both?
Fair enough. Okay, and then what is the one thing that this community can do for you today?
I think that the questions that I've been getting is my lack of marketing skills. So that's the thing that I need to get.
Yeah.
I guess it's asking for help with. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Great job, Stephen. I'm glad you came. I feel like you got some good feedback.
Thank you. What was that?
You're welcome. Okay, I do have a few announcements that I can share. If anybody wants a copy of this Google Doc, just email me at lisa@FatPayBBQ in case you want the links. So deep dive coding on Friday, March 22nd, they're doing their hybrid JavaScript web development demo day. Those are always fun to see what the graduates have been working on for their capstone projects. So that's from 9 to 10:30 a.m. You do have to email Esteban Martinez to get an invite and a link to join that. So I have his email address available for you. Our accounting practices for small business workshop is going to be on March 25th. We're holding that at Fat Pipe East Mountains because she has a lot of clients in the East Mountains. So it's in person. You can register via Eventbrite, but we're also going to do it on Zoom. So I provided the Zoom link if you want to participate that on Zoom. She had great turnout last time and lots of follow-up questions. And I think she's a great resource for small businesses. Her name is Karma.
Hey, Lisa,
Yeah.
Laura mentioned she might be streaming it in the conference room as well.
Yeah, I think she did want to do that. So if you just want to let Laura know that you might come by here, she'll pop it up in the conference room on the Zoom link. That's all I could find online. Of course, Catharsis Media is still here. They're videotaping your presentations and showing them on their channel 96, and there's also a link where you can watch online. So that's available to you who have all presented. I always recommend that you go out and watch your own presentation because it really helps you facilitate doing a better job next time, you're going to be invited by the Kaufman Foundation to come and give us an update in 6 months via your registration on the platform. So it's good to watch your video and make sure that you're ready for next time as well. Paul, what should we do? We got 10 minutes.
We have new faces.
All right, new faces. If you've never been here to 1 Million Cups, please form a line right over here. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. And we're not scary. Come on up. It's not a bad thing. We just want to know who you are. Tell us who you are. Maybe if you have a small business, share that with us and how you heard about 1 Million Cups.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brooke Nutting. I heard of this through Danielle. I am, as of within the last month, I am also now a death doula. I had a small business before this in a construction industry, which totally leads right into death and dying industry. Exactly, yes. So what I found and I missed the most from my previous business was meeting with clients, hearing the needs that they had and helping them reach the goals that they wanted to. And what I found is that transitions very easily into the death and dying industry. My previous background to that was I was a CPA and a fraud investigator, which also leads right into construction. So totally easy. So that is going to be a little bit more my focus on this. And I thank Danielle for inviting me and having me here today. If you have any questions, I'm happy to.
You're going to apply to present?
I'm thinking about it, yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
I think you're new, aren't you? Come on up. Have you ever introduced yourself yet? Okay, I was out last week. All right, anybody else? Anybody online? Let's see. Nobody's in the chat, so I guess that's it, Paul.
So, at the end of the Million Cups presentation, we always ask people, what could the community do for you? And I know some of you are like, you want to ask that question here, but you don't want to go through the trouble of giving a presentation. So anybody who hasn't asked that you can present in about 1 minute, come on up, form a line, and give an ask. And I'll give you an example. We are looking to design kits that we mail out for genetic testing. There are people that do that for horses and people, and we will produce copies of those and just say, just imitate this for us. And we're looking for a design firm that could design that packaging. It's going to be a box with a prepaid mailer and a sample collection thing in it. So we have some leads, and I appreciate any leads from anybody in this community. Come up to me afterwards and say, I've used these design folks to make a product. I understand that that could be handed off to somebody to manufacture. So design, manufacture, and marketing are separate things. But we're interested at this point at the design stage. So if anybody can help me out on that, I'd appreciate some contact. Anybody else have an ask? Brian's always looking for clients. That might be an ask.
If you are wasting a lot of time on spreadsheets, give me a call. We have automated, well, for about 2 or 3 of you in the audience, super repetitive data processing jobs. So if you're like, why am I spending forever entering in data, running this report? That's something that we can automate.
Anybody else have an ask? Nobody's going to go for world peace or anything? Okay, fine.
Oh, I'll do one.
Okay. Smaller than that.
Well, you gotta start somewhere. So it's actually kind of an announcement. The acceleration day for Clear Your Desk is on the 29th, and I would really love to have 20 people in it. It's kind of a beta test of this situation, and so I'd love to have like 20 people for the feedback. So if you're not doing anything next Friday and you need to clear your desk, join me. It's on morethanorganized.net/workshops.
All right, so that's an event. Come on up.
Thank you, Paul, and good morning, everyone. My ask
if you would like to be a guest on Goldland Investors, which is a podcast for people in New Mexico who are in real estate, I would love to interview you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Dr. Norm with drnormsconnections.com. I'm in the dementia defense business. I'm looking for, my ask is if you know of a human resource department in a company that wants to educate their employees or staff about if you're losing your hearing, you have a high risk for developing dementia. And I can share personal stories and also information about dementia and hearing loss combined. Or if you know of an organization, a community service organization like Rotary or Kiwanis or Sip Hands, they would like to have a speaker come in. My motto is, if I can't do it for a fee, I'll do it for free. So if you know of one of those organizations who would like to have a speaker come in, let me know.
I was just up here on JP. I guess one of my other services I'm going to start is designing. This is a biosphere I designed for my class, the deep dive boot camp across the road there. And I have like 30 years, 40 years of engineering and inventing things. So if anyone out here has an idea for something and you want to have it 3D printed and designed, I could help you with that.
Nice.
I don't have an ask. I have a shout out. This is Clifton Chadwick with Comunicaciones Cocopelli. And on the heels of what Dr. Norm was talking about, the dementia, he encouraged me to get some hearing aids. Wow, that's for old folks. So I got a really bitchin' set of hear gear. Anyway, turns out the world is really noisy. But thanks, Dr. Norm, I got those and I always forget to put them in, but anyway. What did you say?
Wonderful.
Well, the great thing about hearing aids is you can always at a meeting pretend that like it wasn't on and you didn't hear that last thing and you don't have to respond to it. So, you know, but applause for to Dr. Norm for raising awareness of that. So, yeah. So remember, guys, 70 is the new 50. You know, 20 years from now, we're all going to be partially transhuman. I'm standing before you today. Not all of it is factory original, but it looks good, right? So, just to expect more enhancements in the future. So it's been another great week at Million Cups. Yeah, you're laughing, but you're going to hold out against it. You're going to get cast up by a lot of cyborg kids. I'll tell you, I'm tired of competing with AI. They're going to go partially biological. So, you know, see you all next week and do a little bit of talking. Introduce yourself to somebody you haven't talked to before. Let them know what you know and figure out what they know. And let's lift up entrepreneurship in New Mexico. See you next week.